What's up, guys? So here is the new project. This is my 2000 Toyota Camry. My grandma gave it to me a long time ago. It was my first car. So this is the next build now that the Fiesta is to a point of stopping for now. So pretty much what I want to do, this is a 5S FE. I want to take it out, kind of refresh it, clean it up, do a manual swap, hydraulics, and I want to wrap the car. I want to put subwoofers in it. I just want to make it like a clean car. First order of business is taking off one of these coilovers that I have and seeing what I'm working with, what I can reuse, what I have to make. So with the wheel off, you can see these are some max speeding rods coilovers. They're pretty dusted, but they've done pretty well for the, ew, spider. I had to cut the springs to get it to ride low, but it was good while it lasted. So I'm gonna see what I can repurpose off of this. The goal would be to have something that bolts onto this, that I can have my cylinder, and it's supposed to pop up through here. So I need to see the clearance that I have to work with the hood on it, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna have that much room. Look at this. I had a set of these coilovers before and I had no springs on them, so this thing was static, and this piece broke off and I couldn't get the bolt out, so I just zip tied it to the new one. Now that I have this disconnected, you can kind of see what I'm wanting to make here. I kind of want to duplicate this, how it's like a C channel with two holes in it so I can bolt it, but I want to have it like kind of like a triangle shape and go to like a rod eye, because I want to have the cylinder facing downwards and have the rod connected to this so it can pivot with like some kind of joint, because this part is what pivots up here. So it pivots like this, but I can't have it like that because the cylinder has to go through the strut tower. So I need to make some kind of bent burnout piece that has an attachment for I think it's like I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's like one of those pivot joint things. Dang it, dude. Drop the freaking bolt in the abyss of like nasty grime. 30 years of road grime in this thing, dude. I got both front coilovers off the car. So now I'm gonna start drawing stuff up. So I made a quick sketch of that mounting part. Here's what I got for my dimensions. It was kind of hard to measure because everything's kind of old and rusty, but you know, I just took a bunch of measurements in some spots, take the average. Got some things laid out here. Here's the coilover, the front. Here's the hydraulic cylinder for the front. And here's the spring. It came with 4 springs. I need to cut them down, obviously, but the size difference is kind of crazy. I could even probably reuse this and just have like a adapter plate, because this is threaded in there. So I could just run a screw from like in this up into that, and then it would kind of sit exactly how far up this sits. I don't know yet. I'm gonna model some things out. This is what that'll look like. So the spring kind of sits on this cap. This is a threaded on cap. The spring sits on that, and then this will give us our suspension. These are really stiff springs. Let me go over the kit real quick. So this is the front. That's the other front. I think it's 5-inch or 6-inch. These are the rears. They're 10-inch. This is all of the lines, the dump valves. And then over here is the reservoir and the pumps. Still need to put them together, but we'll get there. All right, so here's the coilover fully taken apart, besides some of this stuff, but I don't really need to take that apart. I think I'm gonna have it maybe like this. So this can't be attached to anything because it slips in here. I'm gonna have to cut these, and then that's our suspension. So this can't be mounted to anything. This, I'm gonna try to mount to here somehow, like that, because that's how it was mounted before, and this pivots. This pivots around, so I'm gonna see. I might even just get away with just burning out a plate, having it weld, and so then this would be concentric with this, but it would also be a little wider so it could hold this thing, kind of like this. Something like that, maybe. Gonna machine these diameters down right now so that the pillow ball can rotate as much as it needs to. So I took apart the top here, and I just kind of want to go over what I got. So I have a stainless steel bolt, 1/2 inch 20, and then I have these pillow ball bushings that I machined. I got them off Mcmaster Carrpart. I'll put the part number down below. And I matched the ID to the bolt, and then the OD and that didn't match up, so I just measured and I cut so that it would fit perfectly in there. And I had to machine the length down a bit so that they had like a 10th thou gap. And then this sits in here, and this one goes on the bottom like this. Bolt goes through, and then it goes right into the cylinder, and you can see outer diameter of this fits really well in there, and it looks really nice. And these are stainless steel as well. Everything I'm getting is stainless steel because it just looks better and it's more durable. I just reused the max beating rod top hat, added all of the bolts that I can fit. I took out the old ones and just put all new stainless steel bolts in there just for the most amount of contact that I can get to make it strong. Now on the bottom tube I have these stainless steel bolts. These are these are zinc coated. I didn't have stainless steel nuts yet. I'm getting those, but then I just need to machine the slot in the back. I'm just gonna cut 2-inch holes and then cut the excess. Here's what the spring looks like. I always try to cut my springs like very flat and horizontal so that there's the most amount of surface area touching, so it just sits better and it distributes the load, because whenever you cut them vertically, it just, all of the load is on one corner, so this seems to sit better. But yeah, I cut this to 5 inches. We'll see. The ride height is determined by this 5 inches. It kind of just maths out between the center of this bolt to the top of top hat on the other setup, so I just kind of matched them. And then for this, I just did 1.25 inches on the tube, and then this slides over this. And then over here I test fit the actual hose to the fitting I have. You can see it sticks out a little farther because on here, the only models I could find were on Mcmaster. I went to Tompkins and got it, but the site was glitching out. So you can see it's actually not sealing on there, and it's all the way maxed out. So this should stick a little bit farther out. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so I got the Harbor Freight welder. First time ever using it. I think it's pretty good. I'm just kind of stitching, going back and forth so it doesn't warp too bad. Don't worry about what it looks like. It's definitely gonna hold, I think. I got this one welded up. You know what? I'm not even ashamed, bro. $120 welder. Ow. It's really not terrible. I'm just the engineer, dude. Here are the cylinders side by side, or the coilovers. I just threw some primer on this one for now. These springs were cut so that I could lower the car more. But the height's pretty much the same from top hat to mounting. So yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna do a little overview real quick. All I did was reinforce some things down here, thicken up all the welds. I got these little donuts cut out, and I cut some tubing, exactly how my 3D model was. Welded that up, cut the spring to like 5 inches. The spring height, again, it is gonna set the right height. Up here, I think I'm gonna tack weld right there so it just doesn't rotate. Got all stainless hardware up there with lock washers. Got the custom machined bushing spacers. If we turned around, you can see where the fitting comes out, and it's super easy to attach this right there. We've got room for the spring compression to move up and down. That's why I kind of want to tack weld it so it doesn't rotate. Here's what it looks like out. See in there. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions on how I can make this better. All right guys, so I'm here in the garage. Figured I'd make a quick video to show you what I did to it. This is how it's gonna be. I'm probably gonna add a strap eventually from the top of this to that tab right there. But I actually drilled a hole right here so I could weld the spring, just the bottom part, just weld it. And then I'm gonna weld the spring to the head in a couple spots, just tack welds, just to keep it from rotating, because I don't want this fitting back here to rotate and hit right there. So I'm gonna tack weld it. I tack welded the head to the cylinder. I tightened as much as I could, and then I just put a tack weld in a couple spots just to keep it from backing off. So yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. I just painted it black. I put some etching primer on it. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good for now.